friends again. New faces, Mara, good to see you. That's great. And so, every single day in the United States, 11,000 homes are sold. 11,000 homes, even at its worst, a minimum of 11,000 homes are sold every day in the United States. Why aren't some of your names attached to that? Do you realize 8 homes sell every minute in the United States? Every minute. Why can't it be us? So with that as a backdrop, the theme is, if you don't follow through, you don't follow up, your clients won't follow through. Think about that. If you don't follow up, your clients won't follow through. So if you're not calling, just checking in with them, maybe using that conversation that you heard, something simple as, you crossed my mind last night, I wasn't going to let another day go past, or, you know, I was in your file last night and I remember when, just start the conversation. And then, as the video said, you are listening for, what are you listening for? You're listening for change, something that has changed in their life. And I'm going to jump into that a little quicker, but on one side, you've got your buyers and sellers. Do you think the media that they're watching, is it clarifying them or terrifying them? It's terrifying them. So you know your buyers and sellers are terrified. Do you think they're all gung-ho or they're hunkered down? They're hunkered down, right? Are they waiting for this bubble to burst, the buyers? They are, right? Are they seeing misleading headlines everywhere? Right. So now we know that is what buyers and sellers are doing. Now, on our side, the sales side, we've got core reluctance. So I think, I'll tell you what, I think my core reluctance will go away one day. No, it won't. If you just actively think, I think my core reluctance will go away one day. It doesn't go away on its own. It stays with you. Secondly, I think I'll prospect by doing anything but making a phone call. You heard that too. So therefore, we've got core reluctance on one side, lots of pain, and on the other side with buyers and sellers, hunkered down, fearful, waiting for it. Who is going to break the logjam here? There is a wall on one side, pain here with you, yet if you bust through it, there's gain here. And if you don't follow up, they're not going to follow through. It's completely up to you. Oh, are you trying to suggest, Roger, just pick up the phone and call? Is that what you're suggesting? You know, I'm probably not. I mean, every coach is telling you just pick up the phone and make the call. But somehow there's this fear, there's this reluctance, and all it does is cost us millions. It creates disappointment for us. It causes emotional distress because we are scared to pick up the phone. So we've got pain on this side, yet there's so much gain once you bust through that wall. What is it that we're going to do? What is it that we're going to do? Because the prices are not going to come down. The builders are 14 years behind, just keeping up with the population growth. 11,000 homes being sold every day. Why not us? What is core reluctance doing to us? I'd like to suggest one simple thing. It's just a little acronym called PIN. P-I-N. To those of you that have been to my classes, you know what P-I-N stands for. PIN is how you overcome your ego. Your ego wants to keep you safe. Your ego cannot tell the difference between a cold call and a saber-toothed tiger attacking you out on the plains of Africa. Your ego wants to keep you safe. Your ego wants guarantees. Your ego wants surety. So therefore, because you don't have surety, I won't make the call. Your ego is not your amigo. Your ego is not your amigo. So what does PIN mean? P-I-N. When you decide, when you wake up in the morning and you've exercised and you're feeling really good and you said something nice to your significant other, and you, because you're time blocked, you know this is the time I do my sales. Because by the way, any day that you don't prospect, you were unemployed. Okay? Don't let your ego rob you of this. Any day you don't prospect, you are unemployed. So here we go. What does PIN stand for? PIN is, P stands for I am present. I am a gift, I am a solutionist, and I am calling to add value. I am present. I stands for innocent. I bring no baggage, I will give no baggage. I am just a fabulous professional. And N, no negative thoughts. So for that second, that before you make those calls, you are present, you are innocent, and there are no negative thoughts. That is the only way you're going to beat your ego, because your ego wants certainty in your life. Come on, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Say yes with passion.
Yes.
Okay, exactly right. So now that we realized everything we want is at the end of that phone, everything you want, those vacations that you'd like to take your family on, the ability to pay off your parents' mortgage, the ability to look at the kids and say, we're going to Disney or we're going to Universal Studios. You control it all. Once you decide, your ego is not in control. In fact, if you were to write a marketing slogan for your ego, you know what it would be? Seek and do nothing. And as long as there is seek and do nothing, we are stuck as a species. As a species, as a race, we are stuck with our egos whose marketing cry is seek and do nothing. So when you leave today, decide you are a gift, decide you are a professional, decide you are innocent, and you're going to bring value, and you're going to have those forward conversations. So I'm going to reach behind you there, Mara, because I'm going to, but a couple of things I'd like to grab here. So when you are calling your clients and you are listening for change, you know, Keely, it's been a while since we chatted. You crossed my mind last night. I wasn't going to let another day go past without chatting you. Please tell me everything is good with you.
Everything's amazing.
I knew it was. You always were a very positive person. And I would start just a conversation. Just start a conversation. But I'm now listening for change. I'm listening for pain and pleasure. I'm listening for change. And suddenly Keely says, we're having a baby. So what could diapers do? Diapers signifies change in your house. Diapers signifies you might not have enough space. Maybe, Keely, you said, my sister is having a baby. And I ask about your sister. Diapers is the first D that we're going to talk about. That is pain or pleasure. Diapers. Babies can bring pain or pleasure, right? All sorts of conversations about happiness, of what's going on. All this started because you were present, innocent, no negative thoughts, and you called, right? And you heard about babies. Maybe they're young professionals. They've been renting a condo. They've been breeding in there. Now there's babies. It's time to move on. Okay. It's time. The first D. And you're chatting away, and suddenly, oh, mom passed. And I'm so sorry that mom passed. I'm so sorry. Dad passed.
Yeah.
And you chat and you talk. Must have hit you really hard. I can really understand that. So who's looking after the estate? All that kind of, start asking the question. Because you do realize often when a senior person passes away, because of the age that they were in that era, that often the house is fully paid for. And often they're too small for the kids. So the kids tend to liquidate the parents' home, liquidate their home, and buy up. One death, 3 real estate transactions. And you have this chat. So the first D was, what was the first D? What is this D? You're listening for pain and pleasure. And this is a reality in people's lives. We think we've got time, we don't. And suddenly people leave us. And this is this very human connection that we have. Yeah. For whom the bell tolls, you hear that? My sister got engaged. My sister got engaged. That is how exciting. This could mean moving up. You know, there's first-time buyers, there's last-time buyers, and it's everything in between. These are all the in-between things. The first one was diamonds, next one was death, this one is diamonds. Diamonds bring happiness into the house. Happiness, talking about it. This can lead to real estate conversations. Very, very important. You're listening for change in people's lives. This is what this does, diamond. What else have we got? It happens. And COVID accelerated this. COVID accelerated this. There's more divorce now than there's ever been before. Pain, sometimes pleasure. So now you've got to sit and talk, and sometimes arguments break out between husband and wife. You may have to even separate them. But mediate, go from one room to the next, whatever it is, you're listening for change. Sometimes maybe it's not them that are getting divorced, but their friend is getting divorced, and they may recommend you one. Remember, everyone you know knows somebody who should know you. Everyone you know knows people who should know you. That is the way, that's referral thinking rather than lead thinking. Rather than sitting back and saying, where's my lead? That's transactional. But everyone that you know knows someone who needs to know you, and that's more transformational. Talking about friends and family, undergoing massive, massive change. Remember, if you don't follow up, they won't follow through. What else we got? The problems. Son's graduated, he's moving on. Or we've just graduated. Well, my husband has just finished his master's. Now he's going to get that increase. And the kids have left house. What does that mean? Have these conversations. Diplomas. These are the reality of what's going on in people's lives. Diplomas. Make sense, everyone? All right. What other D could we be coming up with? Another D. Makes a good point for me. Default. Less now than in the years of 2008, because most people today can truly afford their homes. And if they can't, the marquee in all of this, they've got so much equity, they can sell it and move on with their lives. So default is real. So talking to people, who do you know that needs some straight up advice in these crazy times? Just talk to them. Well, my friend is going through tough times. Let's chat about that. Default is an opportunity to have great discussion about the world. What is the final one? Driving away or relocation. Okay, there's the 7th D. I couldn't make derelocation work. Okay. Drive away. Yeah, it's drive away. People are getting destination. That could be Maura. So people, no matter what, are getting promoted. People are getting demoted. People are moving across country. And some people might say, well, what am I going to do with my 2.5% mortgage? Well, they don't mind if they're going to another state and downsizing and the payment still goes down. They're okay with that too. But you, as the knowledge brokers, get them off this discussion of rate. It's always a great time to buy in the United States, always. And as you heard earlier in the training video, there's only 2 kinds of people, the quick and the dead. And it's now time to move fast. Have these conversations, otherwise you're missing out because the inventory is coming off the shelf so quickly. And by you deciding to listen for change is the way to stay in the flow with people. Would you mind if I check back in with you? Use great words. Use good words. You never talk about the word commission, ever. What do you use instead of commission? You never use the word commission with clients, ever. People hate paying commissions. Much less problem having a fee for service. I have a 6% or a 5% fee for service, or I have a 5% brokerage. You never use the word commission. You can use the word commission on each other, but not in front of clients. You never use the word contract, ever, because then immediately they think about lawyers. They don't want to think about lawyers. What is a better word than contract? Agreement or paperwork. You never say, let's sign the contract. What do you say instead? You okay it, endorse it, approve it, ratify it, authorize it, anything but sign. Words matter. I'll fax over the contract, sign it and send it back. 80% chance it's not coming back. I'm going to send over the agreement, look it over, okay it and send it back. 80% chance it will come back. Words are very important. Words are very, very important. You're showing clients a house and they go, love this home. The third bedroom's too small. Love this house. It's got no dining room. Love this house, but you see the neighbor's house, it's awful. What are we saying? Are we working on our verbiage for these things? Are we being present, innocent, with no negative thoughts? How are we answering and doing these things? So what I heard, understand how you feel about that third bedroom. Many of my other buyers buying this model felt the same way, but in the end found that there were so many other great things about this house, they weren't prepared to lose it just because of that third bedroom. Feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. Many of my other buyers felt that way, but in the end, found. Feel, felt, found. Look at that awful house next door. We can't do it. I understand how you feel. In many other situations, my buyers felt the same way. But in the end, realized those people had been in their home for 8-9 years. They were about to leave. That's why you're getting a screaming deal on this home. Built-in equity. Feel, felt, found can pull you out of a myriad of problems. And you don't even have to use the word feel, felt, found. I hear you. Heard this before. But this is what it means in the final analysis. It's the same thing as feel, felt, found. You never ask anybody for an appointment. People don't, they're too busy. Life is protracted. You ask people for, can we visit for a few minutes? Can I drop by? I'll pop in, because they associate pop in with pop out. Pop in with pop out. So words are very, very important. Very, very important. And of course, for the greatest question you get asked all the time, which is, how's the market? And your answer is decent. Put you on the spot. Okay. Yvonne, is it? No? Yvonne, how's the market?
It's promising.
It's promising. That's good. It's a tough game these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. Okay, so it's strong.
There's always opportunity.
There's always opportunity in this market. So thank you for asking me about the market. Are you a buyer, seller, renter, or investor? It's different for all four. Which one are you? So I can help you. Always ask the question back. Are you a buyer, seller, renter, or investor? Which one are you? So I know how to help you. It's different for those four groups. This is the way I'm feeling good. I am present. I am innocent. I have no negative thoughts. I am a gift. I am a solutionist, and I think on my feet, and I speak 1/3 slower, and I make great eye contact with you, and I listen and I nod. And when I walk through the door, I make sure it's almost like I have a bit in my mouth, like a horse. If you could imagine like a bit that was hanging from the door as you walk in, and you clench your teeth onto it, it pulls your shoulders back, it pulls your head back, and you walk into a room. The way you walk, your stance says everything about you as a person, everything. Create background conversations. Your job is for buyers and sellers to say, honey, can I see you in the kitchen for a second? She's really good. I'm too scared to ask her for a commission drop. I'm too scared, because you create background conversations. When you're talking to your sellers and they say, Maura, would you like a cup of coffee? The answer is not, oh, don't worry about it. That's okay. No. The answer is, yes, I'd love some coffee as well, with half and half if you have. Take control. We're always trying to reduce tension. And as soon as you do that, you get savage. You step into it And you say, we will conduct this discussion in the kitchen because I can get the energy in the house. Now, something has changed in your life and I want to know why, and go many, many levels deep. Your job is to create background conversations that they are too scared to push you around, because they sense you are the knowledge broker and you are pushing through that wall, and there is so much gain on the other side. So much gain. And every time on the listing presentation, I'm going to do these HDR pictures. We'll probably get an extra half percent sale price. Look at the way I'm going to stage this home, and the way I do it, we'll probably get an extra % or 2 on the sale of your home. And everything you say you're going to do, you link to potentially more in sales price. So in their mind, they might at the end of your presentation go, we could get as much as another 4 or 5% on the sale of this house. How dare they ask you to cut your commission at that point? How dare they, when you've linked everything to increase sales? How dare they? And when they do ask you for it, you give them that look for 6 seconds. It's shocking, but he who speaks now loses. Because they'll go, well, if you don't ask, you don't get. This is what happens. But the chances are, if you have come across with natural personal power. So I close with this. What is your self-image? Do you see yourself as just another realtor? What is your self-image? What's your self-worth? Because your self-image plus your self-worth equals your natural personal power. And natural personal power is the single most powerful trait for any real estate agent. But if you are meek and mild and trying to reduce tension and making them right all the time and not setting up your boundaries and not creating a constructive tension, this is going to be a tough market for you on the buy side or the sell side. Does this make sense, everybody? Okay. And I don't mean to come across as so brutal, but this is the time to step up into the breach and be present, be innocent, no negative thoughts, and realize that you are such a gift, such a solutionist, and they are lucky to have you in their life. They're lucky to have that phone ring and they see it's Mara, they see it's Parmida, they see it's Raymond calling, and Raymond speaks 1/3 slower, picks his words carefully, and asks about stuff, and is vulnerable sometimes. I haven't called you for a year. And for that, I could kick myself, but I'm speaking to you now because you crossed my mind. When someone will gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And you just deal with it. And it's never as bad as you thought, because you are present, you are innocent, and there's no negative thoughts. Any questions before I wrap up? Can you remember the 7 Ds? Yvonne, name one of the Ds.
Divorce.
Diamonds.
Diamonds.
Drive away.
Drive away. You get the last one, the toughest one.
Yeah.
There, I don't think anyone said that. There we go. So there you go. So ladies and gents, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for being here. By the way, coming to sales meetings is important. We get to press flesh, we get to touch, we get to hear. It's so easy just to put on the blank screen and do things and be distracted. Your success is largely predicated upon how long you can go with not wanting to find out what's happening with Donald Trump. Your success is predicated on how long you don't want to be updated of what's happening in Ukraine. Just push it away and decide, I'm going to focus for 90 minutes only on real estate. I'm going to stop all those push notifications to go ping, 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 because every time it goes ping, the head does that. Oh, look what he said now. And this is what happens. And then it takes you on average 11 minutes to get back to what you were doing before. And it's normally half the time you go back to something that you weren't doing before. And imagine that distraction happens 3 times a day. That's just 30 minutes a day. Multiply that by your working career. That is years of lost income, just because we decided we have to know what's going on in the internet every 5 seconds. All right. Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.